12 teams representing some of the biggest cities around the world. 72 of the world's most talented poker players with over $350 million in combined lifetime earnings will put everything on the line over 8 months to compete for the title of the first ever GPL World Champions. Which team has what it takes? The Global Poker League starts now.
Hello and welcome back to the Global Poker League. We are live this Wednesday evening. You are watching Eurasian heads-up play. We've already seen some cracking matches this evening. First of all, Anatoly Filatov beat Vanessa Selbst 2-1, and then we have just had Nanonoko Randy Liu beat Elke 2-1 as well. Great games, Eric.
Yeah, it was really great games. I think everyone was excited for the Elke Nanonoko matchup. That lived up to expectations. And I think the first match, to me personally, was my favorite of the night so far. Selbst and Filatov just going at it, and it was really great to see those two in action. Two
really aggressive players. It's a shame we didn't get to speak to Vanessa after the match. I think a lot of people wanted to see her chat, but she had to fly, didn't she? She was on a mission.
She had something else going on. We actually had to move that match up for Vanessa to play, so thank you for Anatoly for being a great sport and accepting that switch. So yeah, Vanessa had to be somewhere. She's part of her legal fund and helping a lot of people out in the New York area. So good for her. So anytime we can help with that, of course, we will make sure that Vanessa is being promoted as one of the good persons on tour.
She's a lady with a lot of achievements under her belt, and obviously always striving to do more. Like, I guess people like her have to be busy all the time.
Sadly, not one of her achievements is to have beaten the Moscow Wolverines.
No. Today, we have one last final match for you, though. This time, it is Rome Emperor Todd Brunson. He will be making his GPL debut in a matter of moments, and he will be against the Berlin Bear, Mr. Jeff Gross, who actually had his debut last night in the Six Max, but this will be his heads-up debut. So we are going to get to the action very soon, so do stay with us, and we will see who can win. There's 9 points up for grabs, 3 points per game here. I'm going to hand over to our commentators.
Hold on, I got a fun stat for you.
Go on.
Stat for you. First tournament that Todd Brunson won was in 1993. Jeff Gross was 4 years old. And everyone feels old now.
Oh.
The Jim Brady Championship up in Reno. So.
Is he part of the Brady bunch?
Yeah, yes, that's exactly why the Jim Brady Championship was, he was the middle child that no one knew. So after Peter, I think there was a Peter.
We can do a,
there was a Marsha. Peter. I remember Marsha.
Marsha.
She's beautiful.
Over to you, boys.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Statman McDonough. I'm Griffin Benjer. This is Sam Grafton. This is the last match of the day. Todd Brunson versus Jeff Gross. As they were saying, we just got introduced to Gross yesterday. Played anything but Gross. I thought he played great. Todd Brunson, for all those familiar with poker at all, over the last 25 years, right? They know about him.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new competition, a new league, a new format. But with the signing, the drafting of Todd Brunson, Max Pescatori, offering us a sort of a connection, a link back to the pre-moneymaker days of poker. This is someone that's been around for a very long time, competing in that Las Vegas big game. So it's nice for, this new format to have a connection way back to the good old days of poker.
Yeah, I mean, actually, pretty much the only poker book I think I've read is the Suicide King one, which obviously he was featured in, as well as his father. Here's Todd Brunson looking very Dumbledore, ready to get things started. A GPI rank of just 1157, doesn't travel the circuit nearly as much as he did back in the golden heyday of USA tournaments, but over $4 million in earnings, a ton of results, a great win rate. I mean, a legend of the game.
Yeah, of course. And also a wry sense of humor and a strong Twitter presence. And I think that was also another reason why Max Pescatori made this selection. I think he said that in an interview earlier. Obviously, the Rome Emperors, though, can't afford a dead weight. And I'm sure Todd Brunson, who, after all, has been earning his crust at this game for, over 20 years, is as conscious of that as anyone. So really, we looking to see good things from Todd Brunson with this struggling franchise. We don't know too much about his game right at this moment, but he is someone that still competes in, huge high-stakes cash games in Las Vegas. So going to be great to get a glimpse of him today, particularly for high-stakes poker fans.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of things that personally I'm excited about when it comes to discovering, just sort of a window into Todd Brunson's life, but also how is he playing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know a ton about his game. Obviously, I've seen this stuff on TV over the years, but we're really going to get an insight into his thought process. How much studying has he done with sort of the GTO generation or revolution, whatever? Is he going to just be like absolutely amazing? Is he going to have some leaks? Is he going to get grafted? I'm not sure. No. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a real thrill for me and you to commentate on a legend of the game. I think you and me both, one of the things that got us into poker, got us passionate about poker, was high-stakes poker.
And Todd Brunson in particular.
Yeah, yeah. And, that's a sort of model of success and conveying poker to a new generation of fans that the GPL is really looking to imitate. So really nice that we've got that link back to as I said, the good old days.
Yeah, and it also, says a lot about, it's going to say a lot about, it says a lot that he's kind of still here and still
still hungry,
and still playing these, big kind of cash game matches with Andy Beal coming back, of course, and everyone talking about that. So really interesting to see how he performs here for the GPL. But let's talk about Jeffrey Gross, the professional best friend.
Jeff Gross making his debut yesterday, as people mentioned. Someone that is used to playing in some of the biggest cash games and high rollers around the world. Again, the Berlin Bears, another franchise that struggled in this early part of the season. Yesterday seemed to have a little bit of an aversion to variance and like a real strong sense of wanting to preserve his tournament life. And that's fine in 6-max format because obviously making big folds, you can allow other players to knock out your opponent. But here, no one's going to do the dirty work for you. If you don't take chips from your opponent, no one else will.
The insights that I'm really looking forward to when it comes to Jeff Gross are actually tied to Todd Brunson. How much has he played with him? How much is he familiar? I assume that they do have some history, and I also assume that he's going to talk about that and why he thinks he's going to do this and that. It'll be interesting to see how on point he is with that, and also Todd's reflections on how he feels about Jeff's game. Who knows how big these guys have played against each other? Obviously, Jeff is a presence in that high stakes community, has played super high rollers, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of sort of information we don't have yet, which I think that they're going to provide.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if they have played against each other, but that'll be something to see. Yesterday I think Jeff seemed to have a real aversion to putting in his chips unless he was absolutely sure that he had the best of it. Now it may well be that in Jeff's background, the cash games he plays, you're able to get spots where you've got a set against top pair and you get it in for all the money drawing dead.
Right.
That's not going to be the case in such a tough format as the GPL, in 6-max matches against the best in the world, in heads-up matches against the best in the world. You're going to have to look for more marginal spots to squeak out EV. And, that's an adjustment maybe Jeff's going to have to make from his normal game.
Yeah,
Be interested to see whether he does that today. We're certainly going to learn, for Rome Emperors fans, for Berlin Bears fans, we're going to learn a lot about these two people, a lot about their characters, about, as I said, from Jeff's performance on webcam yesterday and Todd's Twitter presence, I also expect, a lively webcam presence, and that's going to make for an entertaining match here at the end of the day.
Speaking of an entertaining match, let's get to it. And wow, look at Todd Brunson. Look at that
get the
bookcase.
Start.
Confirmed
nice
most richest player in the Global
Todd's
Poker League.
Todd
Brunson.
If he's going to be, I would imagine he's going to play a kind of. I'm not sure. I've never played with him live. I don't know what he thinks of my game. I'm sure he's talked to some guys.
Jeff Gross confirming that he hasn't played against Todd in a live setting anyway.
So Todd calls on this board. I'm betting my gutter. Got a couple options here. We can either check back or bet. I doubt he's just going to go away. I'm pretty sure he probably hit a little piece of this. We just have really a 10. We'll go one more. Kind of small. Really drawn to the 10. Put the second barrel in. I'm curious. I don't know how he's going to react. I don't know if he's going to be 3-betting a lot pre-flop. So we do river a pair. We beat some flush draws. don't beat much. We basically beat flush draws. Let's see, you could have like a queen 9 type hand. Queen 10 makes a straight on the turn. Don't think we're gonna get him to fold a lot of kings. Maybe we could get him to fold a jack. There's 5,800 in there. It's early on. He could also have some random flush draws. I think we'll check back. I do not expect to get here a lot, but I also don't think he's gonna fold many like jack or kings here. So we'll just check. Hope the 8's good, and curious what he's got. So king, yeah, I don't think he's gonna fold a king. Maybe for another bet. The ace came out. But fine with that. He defended the king 4 off, pretty standard. I had a good hand. I'm curious on his style pre, how big he's gonna go. If he's gonna be like doing 2.5, he might even be one that limps some.
I think this might be a reflection too of Todd.
So
obviously
pretty good
very
flop
big
for us.
limit,
We do flop
heads
top
up.
pair.
And maybe that's why the default would be to min raise, despite them being so deep. Do you agree with that?
What, because he plays limit?
A bunch
Yeah,
of
I
flow
mean, it's
show
just-
love out here.
Sure,
I
I
see
mean-
a lot of you guys in the chat. Good to see you. We'll be streaming again from Montreal.
Yeah, really don't know what Todd's primary game is right now. Be
Right.
interested if we can get an interview with him at some
So he
point.
checks back
that'd
on
be
the
wonderful.
flop. Interesting. Really no scare cards for me other than the ace. But again, it's heads up. We have a pretty good hand. I think this might even be one to just check call. Don't think he's going to call much worse here. He could have had a flush draw. He could have 6-7, 7-9, those type of hands. I mean, now actually our king, if he did have a king, we're chopping. If he has an ace, it's pretty unfortunate, meaning he would have like 3 outs. So he had queen high, drawing dead, called the turn. Interesting. It's calling with queen high, no draw. So we just had the best hand. I think that was a good plan there. We would have check called the river. Like I said, I don't think we're getting called by worse. So pretty good, really good flop here. Flop open ended. Yeah.
Huge flop for Todd here.
Interesting so far. The queen deuce, the queen high call on the turn, kind of out there. Not sure if he had a plan to like raise me on the river or what he was doing, or just thought he was good. Going about third pot here.
And Todd
And
Brunson
he makes a
check raising.
very small raise, giving me an incredible price, like even for like a gutter. But I actually have, we are open-ended. We're drawing to a 9 of 4, 6 pure outs. I mean, if we hit a 9 or 4 hearts, still should be good. But interesting
Bingo
here.
bongo.
Problem is with this kind of draws, he could be on a draw. He could have like an 8-9 gutter, betting his check raising his gut shot draw. He could have the hearts, and we do have 8 high on a paired board. All of a sudden, it shrinks up a little bit. I don't, again, I think a 7 or an 8 can be good here also. So I think we have a 9, a 4,
I think Jeff.
Sorry
7
about
or
that,
an
guys.
8. His sizing is super small.
Oh, Jeff has something here.
Of course, we can see Jeff is drawing dead, but, there are parts of Todd's range where a 9 or
call.
4 would be absolutely massive.
Not a good card. We have 8 high. We do beat 3-4, 7-4.
There are hands he beats.
Some random flush draws.
And obviously, we can see Jeff has 8 high, so against that part of his range, Todd would want to check. But
I'll
let's
be
just
honest, I'm not really
imagine
familiar with
Jeff
Todd
had a
Brunson's
jack
game.
where
Mixed
Todd
games
would
back.
have jacks full of 6s,
Wow,
and
yeah.
another jack would be jacks full of 5s. So I think we can expect a big bet from Brunson here.
Doyle.
How about a shove?
The guys,
If you
lived-
if you
we've
thought he had a
probably been
jack.
playing poker for a long, long time. I mean, this is actually we're gonna fold, but I mean, there are hands we beat here. I mean, I'm not sure the highest call on the premier or on in this format yet, but I mean, this is actually a spot where 8 high could be good. The flush actually comes through too, though, on the river, and it's a paired board. We're gonna give it up, but
I couldn't have a
I'm
jack
not sure there. We're gonna see in 10 minutes what he's got. But anyway, 50K, 45K, just starting off here. Line's already up to 300, 600. Playing 3 matches, and yeah, we're here we go. There is a time bank too. I see we have 15 minutes. I'm not sure what happens when it gets to 0. Yesterday I said that you had 4 seconds afterward to act. I'm guessing this resets every match. Not the best board here. We do hit a piece.
Both players improving on the turn. Jeff Gross with a pair and an open-ended straight draw. Todd Brunson with a gut shot and the nut flush draw.
come out betting. I mean, we're open-ended. We do have a piece. If he has like ace highs, ace 5, ace 7, he may just give it up. Also, we have a pair. He does call. So, see, on the river, we have an 8. Not the best board. I mean, we do not beat, like 10 queen. He could have, I mean, there are 2 flush draws, though. So, let's see what he does here. I'd actually expect him to be checking back a lot of like 1-pair jacks or 10s. I don't know if he's going to value bet it. So I almost think like, yeah, there it is. So I was going to say like we actually win that one. We took control in the turn. We were slightly ahead. There were 2 flush draws. There are some hands we beat. I would have probably called a river bet there. I think he actually thought he had showdown value with that ace high. But like, again, I don't think he's going to be betting like a 10 or a jack. So if he bets, it's kind of fishy to me there. So we would have called there, I think, on that river, even though it was a pretty scary river.
Just calling with 8th pair on
Ace
the river
high,
on
not a good
4-card
flop.
straight
Still,
boards.
you
Jeffrey
not
Gross.
made many hands, but it's heads up. You have to realize you're not going to make a lot of pairs. That's a good result on that board.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be a mistake to call that.
Call there,
because
yeah.
Todd Brunson had the opportunity to turn
8-3
queen
off.
high
We're
into
gonna
a
be
bluff,
defending
didn't
most
do it, didn't bluff with ace high either on the river. So someone that's not showing a tendency to bluff with the lower portions of his range on rivers. So perhaps a bit of a misread there.
Yeah,
from
I think
Jeff.
it's just a bit of overthinking from Jeff Gross. I really don't want to take anything away from his game. He's obviously a highly intelligent, successful player, but I think that a little ambitious saying we were probably going to call with like 6th pair on a 4-card straight board. There's so few combos there that Todd just has nothing. So I think that's a little. I mean, he could even turn a 10 into a bluff there, which is beating his 8. So I think he's, lying, but in a friendly way.
Betting really small, but
Gut shot versus gut shot. If you're just joining us, this is Jeff Gross, high-stakes cash game player and representative of the Berlin Bears. On your right, on your left, Todd Brunson.
take a shot at this one. Maybe get him off a jack.
Live cash game legend, son
have a
of
queen, but
Todd
we
Brunson,
didn't turn
3-time
any more
world
outs, no
champion,
diamond on the turn.
representing
That
the
was what we
Rome
were looking
Emperors.
for. And the 10 high gets it through there. So, all right, took the chip lead. It's early, but blinds are up in slight lead. Blinds already up to 400, 800. This is a decent hand to 3-bet with. We haven't done anything yet. I think we're just going to call, though. I mean, again, when you do flop the ace, it's generally people think you're going to be 3-betting that. I really don't know what he thinks of my game yet. It's we do not have a lot of history with each other.
Great comment here from Rage Tilt on the Twitch stream. Probably playing from a library, and you guys have not seen at this point where he's playing. So, great prediction there from Rage Tilt. Got a tip of the cap to the Twitch viewer.
I didn't see what happened in the other match. I saw the Nano Noko Elke. I didn't see anything. I saw a little bit of the Vanessa Anatoly match. Like I saw the result. I wasn't able to see on the plane. I couldn't see the actual cards. And he does put in his first 3-bet, so this has not happened yet. And we have an okay hand. We're getting a really good price. He's going with some pretty small sizing. Expect him to barrel almost always here. Someone's saying the GPI ranking is 101 versus Todd 1,000 plus. Yeah, I don't think Todd plays a ton of tournaments. So I don't think that's too valid of a stat. We have a lot of options here.
Jeff Gross with the Nutter Gutter. 6.
We are going to raise our gut shot, maybe get him off some ace jack, random ace highs that miss. He also could peel, and we probably get a couple. He's going to check most turns in, maybe get to the river. So he does call. We're looking for a 6. And hello. Wow. Sometimes when you bet your gut shots, you get rewarded. That's one thing from Jungleman. I've learned that. He's a Berlin Bear.
Wow.
That's from his school.
Wow.
Is bet your gut shots.
Jeff Gross, min raising in position.
Griffin Benger putting his jacket back
Keep
on.
it small. I mean, really only scare cards from me is a club. Doubt he has a club. Probably going to be re-raising, getting in with the club.
Todd
Love
Brunson.
if he had like a queen jack, 2 jacks, ace jack, ace king, just kind of see where we're at. Giving him a good price here.
We did see a fold of
Jam it in there,
aces
two kings.
from Anatoly. He's all in on
He
the
does
turn.
jam it in. Hopefully he has no outs. Boom. I've seen this story before. And we get it in with him drawn dead. So similar scenario. The ace is all in, one to come. No outs. I've seen this before live and online. And he got tricky, and we got there. And again, if we didn't hit the 6, we would have taken the free turn. So with that being said, again, we were going to buy 10% equity, right? Going to get a 6, going to get 2 pulls at it based on how he checked there, check raised. I think he would be checking anyway, right? So if that was, let's say, a jack, right? I'm going to check and take my free card on the river, and then maybe a 7 or an 8's good. If we hit a 7 or 8, we decide. It wouldn't have been, but, he's going to bet, and if it's a 6, probably stack him anyway. So pretty good result. We don't think he saw that coming, the 7-8 off. And
Jeff Gross,
I love our
a happy man. 3 points for the Berlin Bears.
Jeff Gross buying equity and killing legends here at the Global Poker League.
A huge pot there. Amazing turn card. Todd Brunson picking a very, very small sizing for the 3-bet with aces, luring Jeff Gross into the pot with the 7-8. Completely understand the call from Jeff. And then flops a gut shot on a flushing board with no club, raises in position, again, very, very small, trying to take Todd off the weaker parts of his range. If, in fact, Todd c-bets the weaker parts of his range, Todd calls with the aces, bam, 6 on the turn. Amazing.
As you might say, bingo.
Bongo.
Bingo bango. Jesus.
I don't know. That's why Mike Sexton's better than us.
Okay. Obviously,
amazing
unbelievable
stuff.
turn of events there. It's hard not to be results oriented, especially as a viewer at home, us in the booth, seeing that it's just like, oh, why is he raising? The guy's got aces. I mean, the way that his thought process is, it is it's in a lot of ways. It's like when Todd Brunson does have ace jack there, he does have ace king. It's really difficult to play the hand. So I think who was talking about it earlier today? Vanessa Selps was talking about raising your draws in position and how deceptive that can be, and it's more common in today's sort of game and day and age. And clearly paying off there. Not only does he hit the 6, but he inflates the pot so that he gets all the rest of it on the turn. Well played by Jeff Gross, but certainly lucky.
Well played by Jeff Gross, but certainly lucky.
Well, there you go. Lounge. I think we're ready for them.
Well, wowzers, that was a quick one, and advice that I'm going to listen to because it came from the Jungle Man. Always bet your gut shots.
Isn't it funny that Jeff Gross listens to his partner that hasn't done so well, but has played very well?
I did think that too.
But I think it's great. And this is sort of great because Jeff Gross is not that type of player. He's not the crazy aggressive the way a jungle man can be, and he gets to learn from his teammate. It's a perfect strategy, and it worked very well in this first hand. Obviously, you need to hit that gutter ball, right? In order for that to, that's the only part of the trick that usually doesn't work for you and I, Laura.
And I guess usually you don't hit it.
That's right. But Jeff did, and he set his opponent up perfectly, and there's nothing much Todd Brunson could do in that hand, but to just see the lead disappear, and then not the lead, all the chips disappear, and 1-0 for the Bears.
Yeah, now there are 5 points between the Bears and the Emperors. Emperors sat right at the bottom of the table. Still no wins. This could still be a win for the Rome Emperors if Todd Brunson can now win the second and the third map.
We saw Nanonoko do that in the last match. He won the last 2 matches.
He did
so
indeed. Not many other people have done it though, have they?
No, usually there's either a split or a sweep. That's exactly how it is. Usually the 2 players split the first 2 matches. We've seen, I believe, Lebedev was it last week that he secured that win that way. But for the most part, it's been either splits in the first 2 games or just a clean sweep.
We talked about how important it is to win the first game just for the confidence to feel on top of things going into the second one.
Yeah, and it also puts a lot of pressure on your opponent because now your opponent, in this case Todd Brunson, he knows his team is in last place. He knows they need those points, so it's even extra pressure to try to at least salvage something tonight. So maybe maybe that changes the way you play. Maybe not self-consciously, but the way you're playing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. I think Jeff Gross, having played yesterday, is full of confidence, brimming with confidence, and really ready to go. So it'll be a difficult task to defeat him tonight.
Yeah, and Jeff Gross speaks very well on camera, very eloquent, explains his thought process very well. We didn't hear much from Brunson.
But I think that's
Did we hear one word?
No, and in fact, I was surprised we didn't hear a swear word when we saw the two hands exposed near the end. That was sort of surprising. But no, I mean, Todd is more of a quiet man. If you've seen him on high stakes poker, for example, doesn't speak much. But when he does speak, people listen. You know, he's got the big voice going, and you know, doesn't get too emotional and such. But when he does, then you have to listen.
I wonder if Doyle still gives him any poker lessons.
Do
you think he knows more than Doyle now? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely plays more than Doyle. I shouldn't say that, actually. Doyle still is a regular at the...
He still knocks around the Vegas
Absolutely,
at the World Series.
Always at Bellagio
He's
and Bobby's
mowed
room.
me down before.
Yeah, of course. No, but I mean, if you're ever at Bellagio, if it's the first time in Vegas, please be sure to make sure to stop by Bobby's room and get to see the insides of the biggest poker game in the world. And Doyle is the one running that game usually, so it's
Bobby's
quite...
room is so cool. I saw
Yeah.
Gus Hansen playing there once.
Yeah, pretty spectacular to see some of the players there, especially during the World Series.
Indeed. Well, we have just gone through one game. We have two more games to go. Could this one be Todd Brunson, or will Jeff Gross take down another one? Let's find out. Back to you, boys.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Eric. I'm Griffin Benja. This is Sam Grafton. Jeff Gross up 1-0 for the Berlin Bears. Huge points for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been really struggling in the Eurasia division. So a great start. Obviously, Jeff is super thrilled with the way that match went. Not so much for Todd Brunson. Obviously, super unlucky with the pocket aces in that first match. But a lot to talk about here. Why don't you take the lead, Sam?
Yeah, of course. Really unconventional stuff there from Jeff Gross. You know, one of the questions you might want to ask yourself is, what value hands do you want to raise in position there against Todd Brunson's range? Do you want to raise 4-5 suited when you flop 2 pair? No, because you want to keep Todd's bluffs in. When you flop with King-Queen, do you want to raise in position? No. So he wasn't really repping much. He wasn't going to win this hand unless a 6 came off, basically. It did appear magically on the turn, and that's 3 points for the Berlin Bears.
Well, you know, magic happens at Hogwarts, and Professor Dumbledore ready for round 2.
Here we go, King 10. I'm in
Against
Houston.
Harry Potter.
That's what they call the taxi in Houston. You have to play taxi or you don't get invited to the game. I flew in from Miami to Houston today, and I'm expecting to win this hand.
Jeff
Feel
Gross,
the King of Spades,
life
but
is
gonna
good.
maybe need a little help. Could establish the lead-out game here. This is actually a board I don't mind check calling leading turns, depending on the turn and his sizing and all. So he does bet it exactly half pot. I don't know. Because it's in Houston, it's called the taxi. And usually the rule is you have to get to the river, though. Thing about betting this turn on a 2 or a 4 is if he has like the ace high, it's gonna be more likely he's gonna continue.
Jeff Gross struggling with the word inclinate there. I don't blame him.
But we're gonna try it.
He does lead out, and can't know that this deuce hits Brunson.
So I think he has ace high here a lot.
Far, Jeff.
Expect him to call with ace high, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. We're kind of looking like a value bet here.
Jeff Gross picking a very small sizing for
Go
what
for it.
should be quite a polarized range. And Todd looks him up with the pair.
Deuce. Turns the deuce. Okay. Good call. Thought he had ace high. Queen deuce. King. I was going by the rule you can't lose. Maybe I should have just checked and hoped it was good. A little unlucky there, but it's okay. Do see you get a fold. So he's not playing 100%. He is raising probably 100%. We see the queen deuce off. I'm a little stunned by the king 10 loss, especially while I'm in Houston. It's sort of crazy, but happens.
Griffin referenced earlier
It's not 100%. It's in like the 90s.
Suicide King, which is a book about an epic Las
Pretty bad
Vegas
flop for us
limit
here. Give it
holder
up with
match
no diamond,
between
king high.
Todd
All right.
Brunson and billionaire by the name of Andy Beal. reputedly one of the highest stakes matches ever played in Las Vegas. It is a very good book. I read it many years ago when I was starting out as a poker player, so probably still a good read.
Flop pretty well. Call that the missionary, top and bottom.
Jeff Gross
And we will
introducing
bet
us
it.
to some LA cash game slang.
It's hard to
Love
make
it.
a pair, let alone two pair. It is heads
Said
up.
it's the missionary, top and bottom.
That's great.
But
And the taxi, King 10. I'm loving the lingo from Jeff. And we can see, interestingly, Todd Brunson doesn't 3-bet ace-queen. So basically, all
Pretty
we know
good
about
brick
his
here. I mean,
3-betting
any
ranges
7 or 8.
is aces, which probably makes Jeff's play
any
even
7 or
worse
8 is
with the
scary.
7-8.
That is a big time brick.
What are these guys? Oh, dear.
If he is bluffing, I don't see any point really raising here.
Gotta love Todd's
depending on
shirt, by the
his-
way, though,
see
repping the
river?
Italy flag.
Yeah, I love it.
It's, again, a pretty big brick, unless he has randomly queen 9. He's probably going to bet pretty big here, I guess. It's just going to be a matter of how big he bets and if we raise or just call.
Really bad river here for Todd Brunson.
Yeah, so again, this is pretty polar. He's basically repping like 7-8, 6-9. I mean, 5-6 we beat. He could have turned a 2-pair. I think I think he probably has a really good hand here, actually. If he had bet like 2-3K, we'd probably be forced to raise. With this sizing, we're actually kind of hoping we're good. It's kind of sounds silly, but and obviously you guys can see the cards. But yeah, we're just gonna call. Hope we're good. It's a pretty good sized pot early. Blinds are small.
Todd's laughing.
And
'cause
definitely, he
thinks
wouldn't
that
be
is the
shocked
best
me to
hand,
turn
I
over
believe.
7-8 here or like 6-9. Or that's one of the few hands like a rivered king queen ace queen we're gonna lose value from. But I like our play there. I mean, again, we just called on the turn for that reason. We got him to bluff the river, right? Oh, I mean, he actually hit it, but he was gonna bet the river no matter what. So it's again, we had him with 0% going to the river. So unfortunately, it's a little bit results oriented. We could have raised, but again, I don't know unless he has a queen, king, ace, queen. Not too many hands that he's going to have that we're going to want to see if we raise and get called. And we do flop a gutter, ace high, rainbow board, no spade. So he leads out. Interesting. We'll just call. Good card for us. He could have like a 4-5.
That is an action card.
He also could have the ace 4, something like that, 4-6, bet his gutters. So a little wary of this card, but obviously we go from having ace high to second pair best kicker. So it is an improvement. It's also a card that can help him. So we're beating 4-5, losing to 4-6, ace 4. Also obviously losing to a 9, but we're gonna call and see what happens. It's pretty innocuous 10. Again, 4-5. We lose to a 9. I think he's going to value bet a 9.
And this is one of the problems with this kind of medium
And we have
strength
some showdown
leading
value
strategy.
now. So
Todd
again,
Brunson
4-5.
doesn't really know where he is in the hand. Kind of tempted to bluff. Not sure if he can win at showdown. Really a little bit out on a limb with this now 4th pair no kicker.
Pretty happy with the check back. Probably think we're good here, but I don't know. It's a little thin to value. And he does have 6-3, so he had the diamonds with it. So pretty good turn for us. Oh, we got the duck. It's heads up. It's hard to make a pair. We're starting in the lead, most likely.
Love it.
Again, we're not necessarily set mining here, but I mean, you're going to flop a set about 8.5 to 1. Obviously, a deuce is huge. I've flopped a set of deuces in my life. It's not going to happen there. We have no club.
Can we just talk about how Jeff Gross is running life? I feel like Jeff Gross is like such a glass half full guy. He is like
For
loving
sure.
life. It's like he really feels like excited seeing deuces. And I just feel like he probably approaches life like that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
much. I bet if he's married, I bet his wife is unbelievably beautiful. I bet he's just like run so good in life.
Yeah.
Because he is such a cheerful guy.
Yeah. It's
Most
great.
poker players so fuming. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I never flop a set. Jeff Gross.
Like
we're
I'm
already-
never gonna flop a set if it happens. Like that's life,
Yeah,
you know.
we've already got 2s. Look, here he is, leading out 4 overcards, just optimistically firing away. And that's what I'm saying. Todd
great.
Brunson,
He's
I don't
awesome.
necessarily think he has anything here either.
see, he thinks he's still good. Deuces.
It's beautiful.
He's induced the
But-
raise.
Thing is, we're going to face a river bet, and he could have like Jack 10, 9-10, those type of hands. So we're basically calling like 1,700 going to be always facing a big river bet, and we're just going to give it up. Probably think he doesn't have anything there.
Good instincts from Todd Brunson to recognise that bet sizing was a tell of weakness
fold, say,
and
you know what?
raising
Move on.
For
Pretty
value, and
raising
for,
wide
for
for value.
protection, yeah,
Yeah.
against the draws.
Again, two live pros here going to work on
Yellow
each other.
Alive
flop.
Pros.
Pretty draw heavy, though.
Again, Todd Brunson not 3-betting the king queen. His range is just aces
Bet
as
it.
far as we know.
I mean, I think you're just jealous of the bookcase. It is beautiful,
I'm loving
man.
the
Come
loving
on.
the bookcase. What do you
Can
think?
you
he's
see
got
any
there?
titles there, by the
No,
way?
I'd
I know
love-
you're a big reader.
I would love to know the titles. Look like some old editions.
Yeah.
Jeff Gross, a bit of an unorthodox bet here because Todd Brunson
Nice
did call
result.
with king
Pretty scary
queen.
board there at the
Seems like he's
8-4.
going to call with ace high as well. Pretty thin for value on the turn.
7-3 off. He's raising, I think, about 100%.
You know, going back to the thing you were saying about
but
Jeff,
this
as
is
being
one.
such an optimistic
Don't think we're
kind
going
of
to
person. I mean,
defend. And wow,
as
that's
I've
a good
mentioned
sign.
sort
When
of
you're
in
getting to walk
passing,
with a 7-3.
the
That's
professional
good.
best friend.
That is
like
good.
reputation. I mean, this is a guy that people just love having him around. Positivity.
These are one of those hands where you do have an ace, but it's sort of like annoying because we do have the ace of clubs. And another good result with the ace high.
Things going Jeff Gross's way here.
Man,
Obviously,
flew in from Miami, feeling rested, and got a game here in Houston today, and just literally got here, got set up. Gonna go a little late to my game. Starts at 4, but get to play the GPL. I mean, life's good. What else do you want? We're here, we're
life
playing.
is good when you're Jeff Gross.
Got a legendary Todd Brunson. You know, watching poker growing up, high stakes cash games, the whole deal, and it's pretty cool being a part of the first ever GPL. And here we are playing heads up, and that's a good flop when you raise with the 7-4.
Loving Jeff Gross. What a nice human being.
Pretty good flop, I would say. We've been betting really small. He may at some point just take a stand, like float with king high, ace high here. We do improve, and I think we're going to bet again because he has a jack. Try to get some value from it.
And let's hope for Todd Brunson's sake he doesn't get frustrated. He does make the fold.
Could have slowed it down a little. Flop the house. Flop the trips. Turned the house to the 7-4. It's decent.
And obviously last match, Jeff landed that big knockout blow
9-7.
straight against
Good year.
aces. Here just grinding
Middle pair,
Todd
pretty good
down.
start. We will check. $12.22. Decent spot. I mean, obviously you can't fold. Hopefully you have the best hand. Two flush draws now.
It's kind of hard to make a flush, isn't it? Just from the
And,
weeks of watching
trying
this,
to
like
think. I
saying
don't
two
really
flush draws now. It's
see
more just
a-
about, I guess, what you can rep when something
Could
hits.
bet small,
than it
try and
is about
deuce. I
actually
mean, I don't
making
think he's going to have
flushes. I don't
flush
remember the
draws
last
really a
time I
lot
made a
here.
flush. Do you? Oh my gosh. Especially just like on the Turner River.
And tiny sizing on the river from Jeff Gross.
And we bet and get paid off.
Getting
Okay.
called by King High.
Yeah, it's kind of a limit default call there, I think, by
I don't know
Todd
if it, does it
Brunson.
show the
It's such a
cards or
limity
no?
bet.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
No
the
real
thing
thought
is,
process.
Jeff's picked a sizing where he can't have any bluffs, and so presumably that's a strategy that's not going to work in the long run. But in that instance,
It's
Todd had the
perfectly against
perfect
Todd,
hand.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 10 high. We had a diamond. Didn't really turn a card to improve that much. I feel like he's probably a little frustrated. Just, I've been making some hands, making some pairs. I don't feel like he's just going to go away here.
Here you can see
I'm
one of the
actually gonna
problems with
check.
going by instincts.
And that's a really good
what a
card. I
great
mean, we are
river.
beating stuff now.
We are beating stuff now.
He actually could bluff this. I think he's going to bet here almost 100, almost all the time. I feel like he's going to bet, whether he has a 9 or if he's just posturing. And I think our hand's almost good enough to raise for value. I think this is like a blocker bet, but I mean, we kind of control the match right now, right? You know, I don't feel like, I don't know if we're going to raise and call by worse. I think we're just going to be good here. Obviously, could have like a 6-7. And there's a lot of draws that missed. There's a lot of 6-4s, 2 diamonds. Could be betting, blocker betting like a queen 5 or something like that. Also, he can have a 9 for sure. So we'll just call.
Yeah, I like Jeff's thought
And we
process
actually have no
there. It's
kick.
pretty
So
advanced thinking.
thought
It's
about maybe
interesting
raising. I think it's just too thin, like to get called by worse. It's kind of just one of those
how
spots where
much
we should be
sizing
good.
kind of
Hope we're good.
dictates how Jeff feels about a river situation. He had 2 pair on an extremely dry board and decided that, like, you know, obviously I can't fold, but I'm not raising, even though
And
his
we will fold.
actual
We're
hand
calling a
strength
lot.
is so much
2-10
better.
off, it's in
Here
the
he had
close
3rd
range
pair
of-
with a weak kicker, and you know, facing that 1/4 pot bet, he's like, I think I should raise for value. It's interesting how his thought process is. I'm not saying it's correct or whatever. It is really interesting to me.
Yeah, and it's also really interesting that both of them are are using bet sizes according to the strength of their actual
Yeah,
hand.
it is,
And it'd be
yeah.
great to see one of them pounce on that and take advantage of it, because Jeff and
You want
Todd,
to tag in, Sam?
Jeff and Todd are both betting one pair differently to how they're betting their stronger hands
Yeah.
on the
This is the only
river.
other time. I feel like he's probably getting a little frustrated with how the match is playing out, right? And I think Todd's probably more from the small ball poker school, which is kind of where I play. I like playing post flop. And I think it's kind of, again, it's got pretty lucky with the bet my gutter, turned it, got it in against like what I thought kings. He had aces, something like that, right? I mean, and now I've got a 2-1 lead early in this match. So queen 4 off. This is like one of those hands where you're supposed to call, but it's not that strong a hand, but we will call. Pretty good flop for us. Flop open-ended.
Todd Brunson, c-betting close to 100%. Am I right in saying that, Griff?
No, you are completely
Checks
wrong.
back. He
there we go.
can have a lot of ace highs. I don't think he's going to fold his ace highs here. I mean, we are open-ended. Board's paired. Don't have any spades. Queen high could be good. I don't see a ton of reasons to inflate this pot if he bets. And that's a bad river. I think queen high is good here enough.
Correct assessment here from Jeff
Could also
Gross.
have like I actually don't like that card, but hopefully we're good. I think he's gonna have king high or random 8. Yep, jack 9. Nice. Queen high was good. Good stuff.
Pathetic.
The ace deuce. I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ace squared. We're suited. We have an ace. We're heads up. Todd calls.
Like this check back from Jeff Gross, you need to check back some ace highs and ones.
I really have a feeling
with-
Todd's.
with
We have
fight.
similar prize styles. I think Todd's probably like more of a post flop pot control guy. So I think it might be a little frustrating for him because I think I have a pretty similar style. But I also know that I'm very familiar with the other style. Ace high will just check and should be good here at like 100%. Yeah. Okay. Small ball. We'll keep playing small ball. I like how this. I like how this has been going. Obviously, again, I have a lot of respect for Todd. I think he is. I mean, he's been around the game. He's one of the few guys that have stayed around for a long time. And, you know, watching him on TV at the highest stakes, I mean, he's not. I know, obviously, nothing really is going to get him rattled. So far, some decent situations for us. This is like a flop where he has like queen jack, jack 10, those type of hands he kind of has to get out of the way. So you can have diamonds, you can have straight draws. Pretty good card for us. We pick up let's see, we'll check. 4-9, hello. My phone. They're asking me to lower my phone.
Everything going Jeff Gross's way. Todd Brunson reaching the river with queen high.
He's probably going to rep this card. Let's see. We lose to Jack 10. I don't know if we get called by worse. Just trying to think if there's any reason to raise here. I mean, if he has like a 2 pair, he could have 10 Jack. He could have.
Could have the only hand that beats you. 10
I
Jack.
think we're just going to call.
10-6.
Again, it's pretty tight.
To be fair.
I know some of you might be saying, wow, how can you do that? But again, this is like us calling and winning this pot. It's a huge pot. We got him really out chipped. If somehow I don't think he's going to call me, though. That's the thing. Like, sometimes you have to say, what are you getting called by that's worse? Like, I don't know if he calls with 2 pair, even me, on a 4-liner. And he just had queen high, so there you go.
Todd Brunson, the Rome Emperor, over 3-1 chip advantage in favor of Jeff Gross. Gonna need to do something quickly.
Here's the second shot. This feels like a victory hand. Houston, king 10.
Could have jammed there, to be fair.
Todd admits to the phone. So
At
look
least
at that. Honest guy comes up and just says it.
Todd flops top pair. Haven't seen that in a while. Hasn't really. And Jeff Gross just randomly leading out with king high.
So he does call. Could have like ace highs. Todd's probably pretty sticky. I don't think he's just going to go away here. It's not one of the best cards. We'll check. We're just going to check. I mean, ace highs. I don't know. 2 barrels might work there. Man, I forgot it's taxi. I'm supposed to just go barrel it. But again, we have a good spot. I like our spot. No point. We took a shot. It's going to work a lot.
Todd Brunson considering what to do. Obviously, if he knew what Jeff Gross had, he would be picking
Goes
a
for a
tiny
big bet.
sizing.
I think he actually has something here.
But bets
Even
large.
at 5-4, but whatever. Give it up. No problem. I like establishing the lead-out game. I think that can come in play later. Pretty nice hand. Blinds are getting big, though, now. I mean, he has 15 bigs, so this is like an awkward one if he jams. He could just start jamming soon. 15 bigs kind of throw me off. This would be close. I think he's thinking about doing that. Man, he does the real small sizing. This is, again, one of those spots where my hand's just too good. Like, problem is you're dominated ace-king, ace-jack, king-queens. But, I mean, he did this with the aces. I mean, we're just getting too good a price. And we do flop. So, I mean, again, bless him if he has the queens. We have a king, so we probably doesn't have kings. Basically losing to queens, aces, somehow ace-jack. We outflop a lot of hands. I mean, it's heads up. It's really hard to get queens and aces and stuff. I'm actually going to raise here. I mean, he does have ace-queen.
No need to
something
raise
like
here.
that. It's probably good enough to just call.
Yep. Frustration for
But
Todd
I don't
Brunson.
mind taking this one
A
down.
legend of the game.
Sipping some Hogsmeade
Yeah, betting a third of his stack.
butterbeer.
And really in a world of hurt on this particular occasion. Nothing he can do with
Could
Jeff
argue
Gross
that's
flopping
too
top
good,
up.
right? Just call and like make them shell off like the ace-8 off, ace-10 off. But at the same time,
Two eight
here we
of
go.
hearts.
He's in the shove range.
Todd Brun-
Expect him to shove his like ace-4s. There it is. Ace-high should be dominating. Let's give him the ace-4.
Todd
King 3, okay,
Brunson
he's
with
live.
king 3 needs a king
Good
or
flop.
a 3, otherwise Jeff
pure.
Gross will be victorious. He does hit a 3. And drags
Not like
himself
that.
back into
King
it.
3 off, huh?
All right.
Okay.
And we get a few words from the legend. It does deserve a bit of luck. Let's not
Yeah,
forget
it's
how
actually
lucky
very frustrating
Jeff Gross
game.
got in the first
Agreed,
match.
agreed.
Someone chip down, you know, you can have someone chip down and all the way 9-1, 10-1, and they come back. Frustrating game for sure. So we have ace high. That's annoying. You know, it'd be up 2-0, cruising. Now we're in like that spot where Pretty good card for us. We have ace high, board pairs. I mean, we have the ace of clubs. Could argue to protect our hand here.
Rage Tilt says Todd Brunson made a sick bluff on high stakes poker against Negreanu, and then someone else said only time Negreanu ever folded on that shoal loss.
Griffin Benja loves a stab at Negreanu. Why do you always go after him?
Oh my gosh! I swear, do not get me started. I never stab him. You guys just think that, and then he attacks.
Probably supposed to bet that river.
Showdown. The bluff can work here.
And I think we'll check. Should be good with ace high. He could turn over a 5 once in a blue moon, but probably more likely like a jack 8, something like that. Yeah.
6-8.
Okay. And a club would have been good. We could have bet that turn. Man, got it in with the ace queen. That literally is my least favorite hand in poker. Ahead, behind, it's just ace queen. Never lucky. Get the min raise. Jack 7 off. Not the best hand. He's got like 13 blinds. We will peel. Decent flop.
Todd Brunson not able to catch a break. Jeff Gross flopping best. And Todd does continue. Normally the pre-flop raiser does rep these ace-high boards.
A lot of bad cards for us.
Jeff Gross in a bit of a pickle, not sure what to do with his second pair. Seems he's considering shoving, does shove. And hard to know how he can get called by better, worse
Could
hand than
flat
that.
there. The problem is like when he has like the 10 jack, king queens, our hand's just not like quite strong enough to just show it down. So I should probably be limping with this stack size just because I don't really want to raise fold. It's a little bit of a mistake actually when I have him in this chip spot, and I'm not going to be min raise calling off. So I like limping buttons with this stack sizes.
Todd Brunson down to 10 bigs.
We finally got ace queen. We had a big hand and got it all in pre. He had the king 3 off. The 3 came on the turn. He had to still fade the board pair. And we got him in shove mode. We got him where we want him.
Damn it.
Todd Brunson showing a bit of emotion. Nice to see.
Heads up, super frustrating. I remember I almost want to limp. That's what I should have done last time, because this time I don't know if he's going to do it again because we just did it. Here's our hand. Very frustrating. The ace queen, heads up.
Jeff Gross betting out Tiny with his ace queen high.
If you were in the booth here, guys, Sam Grafton trying to slam against the thing to check.
Raise it.
Yeah, I think
Such a fan of Jeff Gross, wanted him to make the decision to check
So
back.
I think he
could have
can
been
just
like
check back
8-9, 6-8.
Yeah.
Almost checked it back.
If you're going to put him on the draws, call, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you can get shoved on
just
so
check
wide.
back
Yeah, I
or
remember I played
bet
Vanessa
call.
Selbst heads up in the 2012 10K WSOP. And that was a nice walk there. That was a nice momentum. He was kind of criming us. And it was around a 16, and she had me chip pretty good, and I came back. I got a couple big hands, like 10s, and she started jamming and putting pressure, and sure enough, again, I should probably just be limping. Again, I think he's got a little too much to just be shoving, but it's like 16 blinds. I ended up beating Vanessa in that round of 16. This is 2012, and obviously she's regarded as the game's best, or one of them. And she was so frustrated. You could just tell she thought she had such an edge on me, and for me to beat her, you could tell it was like her world just crumbled. But heads up's frustrating. It doesn't mean you get someone chipped up. It doesn't mean you just get to win.
It would be nice to see some flavor from Todd here.
He goes for the limp. I think this is going to be. I don't expect him to think that I'm going to be raising. I have the hello. Hi, how are you?
No, we have a conference room you can use.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Thank you. We'll actually check. You're fine. Really good flop for us, 2-3-4. I don't think he's going to think. Well, first of all, an ace. Somehow, if he limped a big ace, we have the 5 ball to make us a big hand. Also, I think he's like a lot of times it's going to be sort of understood. I think he's also limping like middle of the range type hands. So
Might see an all in here.
I think we're just ahead, but
well, 15
decent
bigs
flop.
effective, maybe not.
I almost just like ripped it in on the flop pre-flop to kind of set the tone. I think stack size wise, he knows the blind sizes are awkward.
Yeah, it would be nice to see more of Todd showing his character. I mean, obviously, Max Pescatore talking about his dry sense of humor, everyone talking about his great Twitter game. Too bad he hasn't been that sort of enigmatic so far, but maybe just sort of
pretty bad.
Getting his feet wet, more focused on getting used to the software. Obviously, online, not his background. So, yeah.
Hoping he checks back here.
Todd Brunson going to be pleased to make a hand here on the river. Again, if he could see Jeff Gross's cards, he would pick a small size. But in general, he's been betting the strength of his hand rather than his range. So it'd be interesting to see what he goes for. Does probably reach the river with a few bluffs. Depending on his c-betting strategy with king highs and such like.
Long time bank.
And yeah.
So funny.
Oh.
We had this exact same spot yesterday
Oh,
against Anatoly, right, where he was bluffing. We actually had a pair and was bluffing. I mean, again, super polarized. It's like prize and everything. But I'm actually going to like a jack 10 here. Just give it up. I think he probably puts me on like a 4 or a 3 and just kind of wondering how I react to that. And like, I think he has a pretty good understanding of how I play. So this is a frustrating one, but we're going to give it up. And I actually think he had that one. Yesterday, I didn't think Anatoly had it. That time, I actually think he did have it.
Todd Brunson creeping back into this match. 15 big blinds. It's actually, one double up away from the chip positions reversing.
Wrong suit, but black.
Todd at last hitting some flops.
I think we're going to get check raised a lot here. But also, I think it's like our only shot to win it. I mean, if he doesn't have a decent spade, that's a pretty bad sign. We get called here.
Todd Brunson now leading out with second pair to protect. Obviously, as we can see, some parts of Jeff's range are drawing dead. I'm not sure what Jeff is thinking about.
I don't think he has much here. I'm looking at the king-jack hand, man. Yeah, for that reason, when you get he did 3-bet us light, had him with drawing dead. If we just flat the flop, he may bomb the turn.
And almost back to even, Todd Brunson. Seemed like Jeff Gross was going to finish Todd off in record time. But if you remember, Todd Brunson jammed King 3, got there versus Jeff Gross's Ace Queen, and brought himself right back into it. And now Jeff Gross getting fruity with the Queen 7.
I have a feeling the first time I 3-bet him, he was going to 4-bet me. I've waited a long time, though.
Very small sizing.
Okay.
And all right, good time. Been patient. Really hasn't been a lot of 3-betting this match, either match. Kind of what I expected with our plays. Finally get a premium, super premium, tier 1. Got it all in before Ace Queen to the King 3 off.
I've told him, Jeff. I've reminded him. You got unlucky, mate.
Take it down there.
We know.
So it's pretty level now, and the blinds are big. Going to be some luck here. 2 4s. Probably going to rip this in on his race. Let's see, how many blinds is it? 2,800. Yeah, it's like 12 blinds. He limped. Last time we did it, we let him get there. We let him do it. I mean, he is going to be limping some big pairs sometimes, but I really think we're actually just going to, I think we want to set the tone, put it in. I think that likely he's not going to be, I mean, unless he's like super top of his range, like Jax Plus, I don't think he's going to be limp calling. It's a little bit of a big shove, but you know what? I play a lot of
That was really interesting by Todd there. I feel like he said that this is really close and then realized, just kind of snapped it out of himself. It's like,
Play a
wait,
lot of
no, it's
hypers
not.
on
I think maybe he
stars.
might be a little rusty with heads up no limit, and that might.
Third in the Sunday 500 last week, 8th in the 1K. Been playing a lot online, so I'm feeling more and more
This
comfortable.
one definitely more close.
Ooh, see, I got like ace-7 or something. It's a tough spot. Could have like 4s or 5s. Probably snap it. We have the chip lead. I don't mind.
It's a snap. I mean,
It's hard to make a pair. Could have like queen 10 suited, ace-7 off. Wow, he's stinking.
All right, let's gamble.
there he is.
All right,
Nice
Jack.
call, Todd. Let's go.
That's
Here's
tough. No
Johnny.
spade, baby.
More outs for
More
Todd
outs.
Brunson.
Little
King,
baby.
Jack, 10, 8. Bada boom. No.
Brick on the river.
The Bears.
Dubbers.
Right? This way? Yeah. All right, Bears. Justice. That feels good. That one felt good. Like, that would have hurt to lose that one after the ace, queen to king 3.
And Jeff Gross securing a second victory for the Berlin Bears and 6 points.
Yeah, a little storm off from Todd Brunson there. Good to see him show some emotion. Obviously, this is a guy, super competitive, wearing his heart on his sleeve a little bit there. Maybe disappointed with the way, not just the way the matches have gone, but maybe even the way that he has played. I think he's a really, obviously, extremely talented poker player, intelligent individual. Maybe he realizes that he's off his game a bit, and that's probably bothering him. Storming off, maybe reset, maybe have a cigarette or something. I don't know, but I think he's going to come out firing in match 3.
Yeah, of course. So to remind anyone that joined us late, the first match settled in amazing fashion where Todd Brunson
Very
3-bet for the
unlucky.
first time with pocket aces, came queen 4-5. Jeff Gross raising in position with 7-8 off, very small, and binking a 6 on the turn for the nut straight and getting it in. And I think Todd, now it's dawning on him that he might be swept, lose all 3 games, already lost 2 games. That frustration has sort of been building in him since that awful outdraw in the first match. And yeah, understandable that on your debut, to start things off in such awful fashion, that's got to be frustrating, and we've got to feel for Todd.
Yeah, I think he's also realizing that, the GPL, it's not, just. Not to suggest that he necessarily thought this, but it's not just a novelty. There's 72 of the best players in the world, and he's coming into the fire. Yeah. He's the wild card. I mean, when you compare it to the other wild cards that have been selected, guys like Sam Trickett, so really talented group of people that were selected as wild cards. Not everyone's Scott Ball.
Yeah,
So.
And of course, one of the things that we should say is Todd Brunson used to playing for incredibly high stakes in poker, not used to the webcam. Jeff Gross obviously has his Twitch stream.
Exactly.
Someone that lives a bit more in the public eye, played these television invitationals very recently. Todd, his first experience on the GPL, perhaps getting a little hot under the collar. He needs to keep his composure because, 3 points are vital, it limits the swing if you can at least get 1 victory for your franchise.
Yeah,
and that's what Todd's got to go out and do.
And this is 2 really struggling franchises in the Berlin Bears and the Rome Emperors. Rome, obviously, at the bottom of the Eurasia division. And, of course, right behind them is the Berlin Bears. So Jeff Gross doing great work for Philip Grusom and his team.
Yeah, over 2 days, we should add, because Jeff secured a number of points, getting a third.
MVP talk?
A second and third position yesterday. So this is really a great debut week, along with Anatoly Filatov, someone that's coming into the GPL, played a lot of matches in their first week and really making an impact.
I think the lounge is ready for us to talk a little bit about how that's affecting everything. 2 quick matches.
Yeah, let's go over and speak to Laura Cornelius and Eric Denis.
Thank you so much. The first 2 games in our third matchup are complete. Berlin Bears, they never scored so many points. Although they did actually when Dominic Nietzsche played. But thanks to Jeff Gross, they're really on fire now. 6 points to them.
Laura, if you're a member of the London Royals, you better cancel your trip to Monaco because they're down 5th place, and that's just revealing. That is shocking to me. So I think Igor and the gang are just going to tell Liv, you know what, we're not going to go. It's too warm.
She's getting that whip out.
Yeah, that's
they're all
gonna be
getting a
scary.
whipping.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty scary. But yeah, I mean, good on the Berlin Bears. Now in 4th place, sitting pretty with all those points, and maybe 3 more points to go. So quite an impressive performance. You mentioned it. It was a Dominic Nietzsche week a few weeks ago. Now it's the Jeff Gross week. And that seems to be enough for them to be in okay position after a few weeks.
I love how the waitress or someone working in the hotel came over to Jeff. I didn't realize he was playing from a hotel lobby.
Yeah, Jeff is on his way to Montreal tomorrow morning, stopped by Houston, which he does to spend a lot of time in, spending a little time with Bill Perkins and celebrate a very famous cash game down in Houston. So made the trek from Miami to Houston, and hey, if you're going to be on a plane to Montreal tomorrow morning, why not get into that cash game? But is in the lobby, in the hotel lobby right now, and we're just told that he might have a conference room ready for him. But after 2 wins, I think he's very comfortable in that spot right in the lobby of the Holiday Inn Express, let's say.
Yeah, I'm sure it's nice.
Yeah, Jeff Gross does not sleep at the Holiday Inn Express, Laura.
I don't think Bill Perkins does, that's for sure.
No, I don't think Bill Perkins does either, that's true.
Just to mention, Bill Perkins, yet to make his debut. He is another Berlin Bear, though, isn't he? Do you think they're discussing strategy advice for when Bill plays his first game?
Yeah, Bill is actually in Las Vegas because of the Brian Rast bet. Brian Rast, another Berlin Bear, who's taking his bike, right? He's
We
on a
thought
bike.
we were going to see Brian Rast, didn't we? He was scheduled to play, but then Jungle Man took over, I think, because of the bike race.
Yeah, there's a big bike bet that I guess is going to finish anytime soon. Basically, he has 24 hours to get from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. Yes, that's what poker players do, folks. So yeah, I guess all that team, but you know, that could be good team bonding. I guess if you're Bill
Yeah,
Perkins
it's
and you
nice.
lose that bet, you have
They
to
should
give
all
all
wear
that
a
money.
bear outfit while they're on their bikes, no?
Might be a little too warm
A
at,
little bit warm,
this
yeah.
point in
A
Death
little
Valley.
bit sweaty.
Yeah, but we'll see what
Death
happens.
Valley, yeah.
But it's good that the team is together and having fun, and I'm sure Bill will try to get a hold of Jeff before he makes his way to Montreal. A lot of the GPL teams are headed to Montreal, so it's either Monaco or Montreal, it seems, in the next week. So yeah, it'll be fun to see. I know that most of the Montreal Nationals team is headed to Montreal to maybe have their first ever face-to-face conversations with all the...
Are you missing Canada, Eric?
I do miss WPT Montreal. It is the Canadian Spring Championship. I do love the Playground Poker Club, so I absolutely missed spending time there. And the Playground hosts some of the best tournaments on the WPT schedule, over 1,000 players every time, so should be an exciting time.
But you're here in the GPL studio with me.
I am with Laura Cornelius.
You are so lucky to be here.
It's
and
true.
don't forget, of course, Sam Grafton and Griffin Benger. You're so happy to be with them too, aren't you?
One of them won the Shark Cage. The other one, I don't know who that is.
Well,
See, he's not around, so you can't even
yeah,
listen.
we can say whatever we like
That's
because
right.
they can't hear any of it. So yeah, one thing that was quite entertaining, Todd Brunson there in that last game.
See, I mentioned...
Two words.
But it's
Got
exactly
that.
what I said, right? It's exactly what I said. And then he stormed off at the end. That's what we wanted to see from Todd Brunson. But yeah, just things didn't go his way. He really didn't do anything wrong there. And Jeff got lucky a few times. Jeff, by the way, just an amazing guy, just loving life.
He is a very positive, very good guy, isn't
And every time he talks about positivity, he hits the flop. So I might start doing that right now. I'm going to start positive all the time. Instead of expecting the worst from the flops, expect the best.
I know. We should actually have our own GPL kind of home game in here.
Yes.
Because I think the viewers would want to watch that.
Oh, yes,
Wouldn't
they
you?
would,
Wouldn't you?
Laura. Absolutely.
Who would you have your money on if we had a GPL home game in the studio? Let us know right now on the Twitch. And I might wear a different outfit for you tomorrow because this one is not getting love today.
I think if Laura plays that cash game, she needs to wear that shirt.
Your outfit's getting a lot more love than mine.
Yeah, who knew not putting on a very expensive blazer would be the move for me?
I'm going really basic tomorrow, guys. Can I just say, like, really basic?
By the way, I don't want to say what you're wearing is not pretty, but you ripping off that curtain over there is really sucky because all the light is
Can
coming
we
in.
quit with the curtain jokes
right.
now, please?
I thought it was pretty funny.
I think we need to stop talking about our wardrobe. Everyone's going to get annoyed. We need to go back to the poker. We have one last game here in this match. It is, of course, Todd Brunson. He has 0 points. Rome still with no wins. They are the only team now in the league to
That's
not
gonna
have
continue, by the way.
any wins under their belt. They won't do it tonight because the Berlin Bears have already won this match. They've already picked picked up 6 points from the last 2 games. Let's see now if Todd Brunson can win the last 3 points. Good luck, guys.
Well, let's get this over with. One last match on the day. Todd Brunson against Jeff Gross. Jeff Gross of the Berlin Bears up 2 games to none. Yeah, go ahead. No, you want to do it. Let's go.
Let me just say, if you're Max Pescatore, you know, Tim Adams can't get a win. Dario Sammartino can't get a win. Heads
Mustafa
up. Who do
Knet.
you bring in? Your big gun, Todd Brunson.
You bring in the Suicide Kid. King.
Unfortunately, you know, Jeff Gross isn't Andy Beal. No good so far. Todd Brunson needs to get some points on the board. Great opportunity for Jeff Gross.
Match.
All right, here we go. See if we can get the trifecta. I anticipate there may be a little bit of a different change of play from Todd, like some more 3-betting pre-flop. I kind of anticipate, but yeah, I think we're going to try to stick with our game plan. I like how it's gone. You know, again, I think our game matches up pretty well with Todd's. I think he's going to play fairly similarly and like to go post-flop. And again, obviously Todd's a great player, but you know, I'm very happy doing that. It's nice to get the first 2. The first one's huge. The second one's even bigger, right? Then you're just kind of like, all right, like the pressure is off. Like you don't want to get goose egged for sure. So I think our positions are pretty close, right? The London and Rome are kind of in the middle-ish bottom. So here we have an ace, deuce. We will call, and it's okay flop. It's one of those hands like you're probably starting ahead. Doesn't really, like you hit the ace, you not necessarily just want to play a huge pot. Do flop a pair. It's hard to make a pair. Start out with that. He checks back. Interesting check.
Great turn card for Todd Brunson. Turning a
check
gut shot and a flush draw.
He does bet. Could have some we can be beating some ace highs or even like you know, 1 card spade, jack 10, 1 spades. Not the best card.
This is really going to set the tone for the third match now. Todd Brunson needs to go for it here with the nut low, I believe. Absolute must-bet situation.
I think he can have some. I mean, he could have a queen, something. I think he can also have like a spade and a random 4 in his hand. 4-7, yeah.
You have to bluff that.
And he did. So I don't know. I wouldn't have been. Again, I wouldn't have been. I thought we were good, but I wouldn't have been thrilled about calling it back because he is checking back. Doesn't seem like he's bluffing too much. Now this is a hand. Again, I think I expect Todd this match to start 3-betting a little more. Try to put some chips in the middle, throw me off a little, and this is a pretty good hand to deal with.
Todd Brunson with bladder issues, not storming off, as Griffin suggested.
Is that what he corrected me? Like
I don't hate checking back here. Not too many scary cards for us, right? I mean, a king makes us a straight. An 8 makes us a straight. We're blocking that. If he has somehow like a random ace high, it's 3 only. There's not much that's going to bet it now. I mean,
such small ball from these guys. The sizing, so many third pot bets compared to, say, Bonomo and Tim Adams or
I mean,
Busquets and Elias.
Let's get Berlin Bears back in this thing. Got the first 2. Those are the hard ones right now. It's, a walk. 9 high, we'll take it, but that's a nice 9 high. King 8. One of those hands again. Queen 7, they call the computer hand. Queen 7 off, so we're starting with a little above average hand. Pretty good turn.
Something we haven't discussed that's definitely something to consider, Sam, too, is you know, Todd plays such a wide range of games. I actually think we might get
check raised here.
You know, No Limit Hold'em might not necessarily even be his strongest game, or the one that he plays anywhere close to as much. Certainly something to consider when it comes to you know, some of the tendencies we see from him here. Obviously, a very experienced player in every respect, but maybe his Hold'em game a bit rusty.
For sure. I'll come
Yeah,
back
I
to that.
kind of just
after
felt
this
it
check
coming.
raise.
I mean, again, I think he's gonna have like I think he's gonna have like a lot of draws here, like clubs, 6-7. Really bad card. Even his ace, like ace fours, ace threes. Now we have a worse two pair. So, um, I think we just got rivered. The sick part. I mean, clubs got there. Random aces beat us. 6-7's like the only hand I think we're beating. It's pretty sick. We could have blown it up on the turn. We have the king of clubs though. Board's paired. He could also have like some 5-6s. I mean, I just think we're playing so well. Like he just showed the overbet. He knows we saw the overbet was with the made hand. So it's like, he knows, I know, he knows, these are awkward spots. I really think, I mean, it's pretty sick. He can be bluffing 6-7 here. But we have king 8. Ace beats us. Ace deuce beats us. It's so bluffy. The check raise is so bluffy. I really thought he was bluffing, but I could be on the low flush draw. It's pretty unfortunate. I'm curious on this one. It's like ridiculous. I really saw him. I predicted the check raise on the turn. It almost feels silly to fold. It's so early. It's so many blinds though, and like unless he has 6-7, it's the only bluff I'm gonna beat. If it's a 5-9 club, I may have to call it, but I think it stinks. This check raise is very bluffy. I don't like it. I think it's pretty weak poker, but I don't know. We'll give him that one.
Jeff Gross does make the fold. Todd Brunson.
Again, our hand only beats a bluff, and there aren't a ton of bluffs there.
Showing some aggression.
Nice hand, whatever he had. It's a little frustrating to turn 2 pair on that board and lose. There's a chance he had like an ace-5 though or something also and had us beat already, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, Griffin, you spoke about Todd playing perhaps mixed games, but that's one of the things that I think puzzled people about his selection as a wild card. Max selecting himself and Todd Brunson, 2 players that obviously in terms of poker skill across the board, across all games, maybe you couldn't pick 2 better players who are more well-rounded as card players.
And they also look like the American and Italian versions of each other.
Yeah, but are they no limit hold'em pay players in this very tough, unforgiving 6-max and heads-up format?
He likes the check raise.
Really
I like
difficult.
playing against check raisers.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough balance.
do.
How are you gonna construct your team?
I mean, this is pretty unconventional. For instance,
This time,
check
again, I
raise
think he
second
probably has
pair.
some, but we'll peel one. We'll play along the game.
As it is, he's, I mean, amazing. As it is, he's got Jeff Gross crushed. But Todd Brunson, I think, just as Jeff Gross predicted, bit frustrated with how things have gone and really decided to just come out here all guns blazing.
3 can improve if he does have a queen, so we kind of have 2 outs. I mean, again, I think this is sort of bluffy, like Jack 10, 9, 10.
Don't
But
leave Jack
one of those
9
things
out of
we're
it.
just going
if
to give
you're
it
gonna-
up.
I mean,
He likes check raising. I mean,
this strategy, doing it with bluffs rather
the
than
king
second
8
pair,
hand is-
I
that's
think Jeff
pretty
Gross
frustrating.
is
I
a
think we
prime
had him beat
candidate
back.
to put pressure on. He's shown an aversion to high variance spots. He shows an aversion to playing big pots. He actually comes out constantly and says, I like small ball. So, yeah, if you wanted to exploit Jeff Gross, I think playing a high variance style with a lot of check raises would work effectively. Pretty unusual to pick a medium strength hand to do it, though.
I'm actually inclined to disagree a bit, just in the sense that I find that the way that Jeff analyzes hands, that he's someone that is comfortable doing like weird kind of like sort of like levels of like clicking. Do you know what I mean? Like where when like he's very comfortable check raising or like raising in position on boards and certain turns and stuff like that. Like I think he's comfortable playing like like you said, small ball, but also
he's probably
like
a little bit annoyed right now to get the first 2 of having a little bit of pressure, and obviously again, like whether someone goes 3-0, 1-2, 2-1. It's such a small sample. These are fast formats. It's not like, oh, I'm better than this guy or that guy because you beat him. He could call us light here. There are draws that miss. Diamonds miss. 6-7 misses. This is for value.
Jeff going to be pretty frustrated when Todd calls here. I think Todd's actually thinking about raising this river.
And I don't really believe this unless he has a 5. It's a sort of not believable bet. It's very clicky, like min raisey. I mean, I don't like it. Obviously, it looks super strong, but like again on this board, I mean, I don't know. Did he flop a 5 and check it back? turn when there's 2 flush draws. So like, do you have a boat? I have an 8. Are you value betting a
Todd
10
Brunson
here?
reminding
Like
everyone
maybe
he
you do
is
have.
an
I mean, I think you have
primarily
like
limit player, or at least a very
a
seasoned limit player.
5,
Heads up.
and 5 doesn't make sense. So I think you either have somehow kind of how a full house or like ace 10 or something. But like it's weird line to check back at 10. Fortunately, I think I'm gonna have to pay it off. I was betting for value. Very, very curious on this one. Min raise looks strong, but curious. All right.
Well played
So
from Todd
he
there,
got
getting a
lucky, and
little
that's a nice
momentum.
value bet. Nice hand. I might normally check call. I just thought I was probably good there. Good hand. Good hand.
This is the first time Todd's really had a chip advantage across the 3 matches.
Someone on Twitch has just said Todd is old school gambler.
I do have a lot of.
He
I
earns
played.
money
I mean, heads up's probably my least played
by
game.
applying pressure old school style. He can't play for
I would
imaginary
say.
league. So we are just
Out of the
starting here.
games, but you know, I played Premier League 7 with some really good players: Jason Kuhn, Vanessa Selps, Brian Rast, Phil Locke, Antonio Esfandiari, Jungleman, Dan Coleman. That was like his first ever live breakout, right? And Sorrel Mizzi, I ended up taking second. I got second in one heat, or first in the first heat against Dan Coleman, second against Rast, second against Mizzi, and then I got second in the final as well. So you know, I played some heads ups. There are a lot of seconds in there, but I'm familiar with sit and goes and have some experience. And I learned a lot. I mean, I think it's funny too about King High is going to be good enough. You know, I think it's funny about
spent that money.
poker is like it's an always evolving game, and it's a beautiful game. Like I learn stuff every time I play, and like that Premier League was an eye opener to me. Talking with Sorrel Mizzi, Brian Rast, Antonio, some of my closest friends, both on poker and out, and realizing like wow, like there was a lot of stuff I hadn't really thought about, and defending ranges and stuff. And you know, I'm not claiming I'm a great heads up player. I'm just saying like I think I got a lot better, and it's like everyone like that expression, like people think they're the best in poker, right? It's kind of funny because really it's a constant. There's so much information. You can always get better. You can always work on parts of your game.
I love
I'm
Jeff
still
Gross.
working every day on my game, and I think I made some big improvements.
How much is
but,
it to be his best friend, by the way? I will
it's interesting,
pay.
right?
I
There's a
have no
lot
money,
of stuff.
but
Heads up differs so much from
I'll
like
cut
other
him some of my
formats.
paycheck. You interested?
All-American boy, isn't he?
Isn't it? Isn't he? Yeah.
Todd Brunson check calling 10-9 pretty randomly on King 6-3, 2 clubs. But he does actually have the best hand. And
Come on then, Todd. Call
This is
him
gonna
down
be a tough
from
board
weird
for him to
10-high.
continue
Yeah, it's
without a king
nothing you can do
or
there.
a flush, and we did have a club there.
I mean, what was he hoping to turn there? 10-9. I don't know. Queen's a pretty good card for that particular hand. I don't know.
So by now, I think he will have seen that 3-bet with the Queen 7 off. He had King 7 off. You could tell he was really thinking about it, and it was close. King high here. I don't hate. This is a board I may check call lead.
Jeff Gross turning an open-ended straight draw to go with King High, which is, of course, the best hand at the moment. If you're joining us late, you can see at the bottom of your screen, Jeff Gross won the
Check
first
back
2
the
matches
flop.
here.
This is an average card. I mean,
6 points
I
secured
probably should be trying to take
already.
this away, get him off his ace highs here. King high. Let's see. We beat Jack Queen. We don't beat Jack King. An 8. I mean, there are not a lot of 8s. Queen 8. We beat 8-6. King high could be good here. We're gonna peel. I don't love this play. I think we should have probably bet the turn. Not that many hands we beat. Queen Jack, Queen 8, Queen 5. That's a random one, but that was a little borderline.
And
Don't think we folded a button yet. Let's
chips
just stick with
pretty
our 100%.
evenly balanced here, going into 500, 1,000.
Wow. So I'm seeing the, man, I played that. It's sick. That's really unlucky. Like that check raise, that bluff. Again, it just felt like he was going to do it. He had 3-4 off. It felt so bluffy. Like literally the five of clubs is like one of the only cards in the deck that I'm going to fold that river to. I was trapping. And then like I got counterfeited. Ace beats me. A 5 beats me. Clubs beats me. I mean, he was drawing to a deuce. Pretty unlucky for us there. That and again, he's done the overbet when he's had it twice, so that's also made me kind of think he didn't have it. I don't know what he's doing on that hand, to be honest. But got pretty lucky to get me to fold. It wasn't that it was literally the worst one card in the deck that's going to get me to fold an ace or a 5. Don't love this turn either, even though I think we're good. We're beating a lot of hands here.
Todd Brunson with a double gut shot. And River's the best hand.
Problem is, I think we were good, and I think he's probably got more draws here. Like he could have king jack, jack tens, those type of hands. Just having trouble there. Nice hand. Guess I could have bet the river, and this is one of the few we'll fold. So crazy. 3-4 off gutter. I thought he was drawing. Gutter draw 6-7. I was right in there. Decent flop, getting some trouble here. We do flop middle pair. We have a spade. We're blocking some draw hands. The spade, we got the 8. Pretty unfortunate on that. Pretty unfortunate on that 3-4 suicide bluff he ran. I wanted to call too. That is a yummy card. We've done this before where we flat flop lead turn when we didn't have anything. If he does have an ace here, it's going to put him in a tough spot. Obviously, a few hands cooler us, queen jack, queen 10. We do get a decent card. I mean, he could have like a king jack type hand.
Pretty interesting to see Todd Brunson float the jack 7 there.
We can go for big value here, or we can go check call, get him to... Two scenarios here. This is where hand reading really comes into play. So do we check? Do we go for value, try to get paid by like an ace 8, something like that? Or do we... There's two reasons to check the river. Pot control, if he does have a king jack, a better queen, some kind of weird straight draw, flush draw that hits. So we're pot controlling if he makes his hand and beats us. And 2, we're getting bluffs to bet.
Amazing, because Todd Brunson does have...
Right, so, if we bet like 800 and he has ace jack, like, great. He might even value bet an ace here. If he bets big, this is a spot where, again, I'm kind of pot controlling and getting bluffs in here. So, we also showed our call flop bet turn. I mean, there's a lot of draws that miss jack. This bet looks pretty strong, but again, I think he might even value bet an ace. So I really like our play here. I think we're getting him to bluff, and when we're beat, we are pot controlling. The only thing is, if we're really losing value out of like an ace 10, ace jack, somehow a bigger ace, I don't know. I think he has an ace.
Why are you laughing, Sam?
Again, I like our play here. I think we're getting max value out of miss spades.
Tell the viewers how you feel.
I don't know if would bet though, so I don't think he's got that. I think he probably has miss spades, or somehow gutter to straight or something. But I think we're probably good, and hopefully he just has a weak ace.
Just so random that Todd Brunson has jack 7 here.
We get his air there. By betting 9,800, we get 0. By check calling, we get a bluff to bet, and we pot control to random jack. If you had the jack 8 there, for example. So good hand for us there.
Jeff Gross regaining control of this third match, looking to go 3-0.
Off. We have defended we've defended in the 90s. We got some momentum. We're back chipped up 60-40 here. Gonna fold. This is close. 7-3 suited we call. We'll lay down the 7-3 off.
Think we'll ever get a cameo from Doyle Brunson that he'll pop by and say hi to his son. That'd be nice.
And Jeff Gross, look distracted, but going to look back at his monitor and see he's flopped incredibly strongly. And actually, Todd Brunson with a hand that is going to have to put some chips into this pot. Jeff Gross going with a tiny sizing.
I mean, the thing is, Todd's going to know this type of board. I'm just going to be betting like 100%. So like, he likes check raising. He really does. I'm telling you, I think Todd's a good player. I think this is just so bluffy. He's probably going to have like a 5-6, a 5-8, something like that. That's a good card. Could have sometimes a 4. Once in Blue Moon, he has a 7. I think check raising a 7 is pretty bad. Our kicker on our 7, though, beats 8-7. I think he has a draw. I'm almost convinced here.
Todd Brunson, not too comfortable with the 5s. I think his bet sizing reflects that. Targeting the ace-high portion of Jeff's range and
We're
his
going to tax him for it.
Wow.
The check raise to me is just so bluffy in poker. It's like once in a while let's see. I mean, if he jams, I think he has he could even have like 5-6, 5-8 of spades. He calls, and that is a pretty good run out. There's not a lot of queens he should be check raising unless he has like a random queen, king, ace, queen.
Is there any way I can rip a queen here? It's not.
Todd Brunson, obviously, for those new to poker, he has 5 high now.
It's unlucky.
Queens and 7s, 5 high.
A 7, because I think we probably had the best kicker. We're going to bet it for value. I mean, if he has a queen, it's just like psychotic. He has like a random queen, something 4 off. If he has it, like...
Why 4?
We're going to bet it. I mean, he could have ace high, he could have 5-6, could have a 7.
Right now.
If he check raises all in, that's literally like... I mean, it's just a tragedy of a hand, but we'll just take it down. I think he has 5-6 there, 8-5 a lot. Maybe a 4 that got counterfeited, but we got to bet it. There's really no queens in his range other than the random queen, king, ace, queen.
Imagine this is going to be a shove and a fold. We'll see.
Queen 9 off, we will defend. We have a 3-1 lead. Pretty good heads up hand.
I think this ace deuce off does play better as a shove because it doesn't flop well. Obviously, in this instance, Todd's connecting with the board really well. And Jeff randomly leading a board that is way better for Todd's range and going to cost himself 3K chips here. Obviously, you can check call with the queen high, as this is a board your opponent will always continuation bet. Just not very believable from Jeff because say you did have a strong hand, why wouldn't you check and let your opponent
It's kind of a
stab
tough
it?
spot for him to continue and be wrong here.
It's just
pretty
so.
much dead.
I mean, this hand is right now.
We're kind
is
of
just
trying to get him off. Like, I really don't think he has anything. Again, he loves doing this, and if I had a king or ace, I wouldn't even raise. He could have like a jack 10 here.
This is just such a bad bet by Jeff Gross. And the reason is because
I don't know. It doesn't make a lot
Todd
of
Brunson
sense, so
starts the
whatever,
hand with
we'll give it
13
up.
blinds.
I mean,
He would never just flat call with an ace, and then he would never lead it. He's not repping anything. I think Jeff does a lot of things really, really well, and I really like watching him play, and I love watching him talk, but this is absolutely terrible.
We'll give it up.
I'll just say.
Again, I think it's kind of bluffy. I don't know. A little surprised.
Also, no real need for Todd to raise that.
So,
No, I mean, that's the other part of the coin. I mean,
apart from that, they played it great.
Yeah,
this is
no,
one of
I
those
mean-
few that I'm just going to fold. Also, I think he's kind of in that shove range. I do know he likes to shove it in. You know, I think he's gonna probably be shoving correctly a lot. So we're probably gonna start limping a lot of buttons. We're close. King 5 suited. This is a good hand to peel with. We could even re-raise here, but I like our post flop situation. Gonna miss, get outplayed sometimes.
Is that kids in the background with Jeff?
Of course it is, because freaking friendship and lollipops and children and everything follows his life. It's like he's clearly the like coolest, nicest guy ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty good hand, pretty bad flop, and you know he's gonna have like ace fours here and stuff like that. Where if we call or come along, but we really have no equity, no backdoors. King eye's probably good, but we'll pick a little better spot. And king 7. He's got 15 blinds. I think we're at the point where he is going to start shoving. I think this is close to just limp in. I predict him to start jamming it soon. But once you get a guy start jamming 15 plus blinds, it means they're kind of in trouble. So we'll keep the foot on the gas until we start seeing that, and then we'll adjust. But we are close. Once he gets down to like 10, 11 blinds, hands like this, I'll limp. I'm not going to be raising here. The ace 4 suited. I think we're actually going to put it on him. We haven't really done a lot. He's got like 13 blinds. We have a suited ace. Don't really want to call, let him play.
Yeah, let's go, Jeff.
We actually may.
Let's go, mate. Stick it in, bruv. Yep. No need to explain
let's
it.
just pile it.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get a suited
snap
ace,
call is good. That's a good
stick
result.
your opponent
Could have made
on
it like 11 and called it off. Just try to look a little stronger, but whatever. It's okay. I also like letting him know, kind of set the tone here. Here's that range we're talking about. Like, this is a queen 9. I think he might just jam the first one we limp. Hello. He's probably going to jam, but we'll implement the limp game on him. Hi, how are you? Hello.
Oh my God, it's just the cutest.
And he doesn't, so I think he probably doesn't have much. And this is going to be a flop where we're probably going to win a lot. Hi, how are you? And again, I don't think he has much here.
Todd Brunson leading out optimistically with the 10-6 off.
There's not many draws, though. I am going to peel. He should not have an ace.
Jeff can probably check here.
This is our range. I think he has like a 7 or a weak jack here. And he should give this up. Let's go. He's going to start jamming now with this 10 blinds. There it is. This is not one to call. Save our time bank.
Just to remind you guys, Jeff Gross, 2-0 up against Todd Brunson of the Rome Emperors, looking to make it 3-0. As you can see, a huge chip advantage.
This is probably when we should just jam. But I don't hate it. It's close to just jam the ace-5 off. We're not almost like if he jams it, we're gonna call it, but we're like, you know, we're not really that ahead of stuff. So it's actually probably not good enough to induce. And I expect him again to just start be jamming. We have a nice lead. He's pretty much gonna be not probably limping a ton. He's gonna be folding, jamming, and we have him down to 10 blinds, guys. It's a good spot. There's that famous king 3. But it's different to be the first in and call it off.
The king 3 is famous now because he lost the 62-38.
And I expect him to be jamming now on some limps. I mean, yeah. So I see it coming, but again, I'm going to be limping my huge hands. I'm going to be limping these hands. I'm going to be limping middling hands. So we got him where we want him. And we got him min-raising there and then giving up those extra chips when we're not calling. So I think limp, go to the flops, and we're going to catch him when we have a big hand as well, if we ever get a big hand. So by doing this, he's going to be jamming a lot, but we're also, basically when he doesn't jam, we get to play post-flop, and I think, it's a decent flop for us.
Yeah, Jeff's right.
I actually don't mind checking here and raising his turn bet a lot on a certain cards like this. Like if he bets here, Nice. He's in a tough spot. I mean, we're going to be limping our buttons, and he's going to be jamming or folding. So, here, unfortunately, it sucks because it's a hand I wouldn't mind going to flop. Get the walk. So we're chipped up. 4-1 lead. No guarantees. Here, we'll just limp to stay balanced. Got Poker Staples in there, baby. What's up, man? My future stream house roommate. We're doing a stream in Montreal. Myself, Kevin Martin, Tonka, Poker Staples PA, and he is one of those. You guys don't know. One of the absolute Twitch crushers. And yeah, we're going to be living in Montreal for 5 months under one roof, streaming Twitch every day. Can't wait. Montreal, one of my favorite cities. I'm actually headed there tomorrow. Just left Miami this morning. I'm in Houston right now, about to go upstairs and play a cash game. And then tomorrow I fly to Montreal, start my scoop there, and then I'm going to Rio. Going to be playing in Rio de Janeiro with Dan Coleman.
Get a life, right?
We're going to play some Rio during the scoops. Should be pretty fun.
What a nerd. I mean, doing nothing cool,
So there we go. We got him down to less than 10 big, shoving, but one double and we're even. So it's anyone's game. And this is heads up. It's no guarantees, but I like our spot. I expect him to be, again, it's tough, right? Because he knows I'm just limping 100% now. So it's like kind of he's just playing his hand. He can be, and we're going to get him to shove when we're going to limp ace jack. We're going to limp 2 9s, and he's going to shove like ace 4 off. And again, now when he checks, he limps, we get to take control of these boards. Because like hands like this, unless he has like a king 6. There's not a lot of hands he can just be jamming here, unless he has like a random king deuce, queen deuce.
Have I flopped a pair of this match?
Something like that. And then he's just going to be dominated a lot of the time when we limp and bet and call it off. So I expect him to check raise, take a stand here soon. But again, these are it's pretty tough spots for him. Here's our king 3. Should we just send the message and call it off? It's a good all-in hand on GPL. I've seen a few other streams. 2 suited, actually. Wow. And again, we're not just going to we will limp our big hands, but hands like this, I think this is very close. Let's see. He's got like 9 blinds to just pile it in instead of limping. I think we're actually going to pile it in.
Picked a good moment for it because
instead of limp, let him.
Todd
probably ahead,
does
yeah.
score
All right,
with
so we're
Jack
suited for the
9.
win. 10 ball. 10 ball. Ooh,
Some
it's a
outs
lot.
to fade.
In the hold. Oh man, come on, Berlin.
Bricks.
Boom!
Off.
The Bears.
Again.
The Bears. 3s. Let's go.
Break this computer.
Two contrasting images there. The two sides of poker represented between Jeff Gross and Todd Brunson.
Yeah, a really interesting match. Todd Brunson losing 3 in a row. Jeff Gross clearly has the coolest life ever, and I just want to listen to him talk all day, which they're doing a 5-month stream with all the biggest streamers in Montreal, which is pretty cool. Todd Brunson, Hold'em, no limit Hold'em heads up game is rusty, but he's a good player and he's going to figure it out, I think. But he's a bit off right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jeff Gross getting the run of cards early in match 1.
Ready
and
to go
then
for my birthday.
Todd Brunson just, in heads up, obviously one of the key skills is playing a wide range of hands. Knowing what to do with your gut shots, with your overcards, your pre-flop defending frequency, your flop defending frequency, and such like. And Todd Brunson looking a little bit out of his depth there. But let's talk about Jeff Gross for a moment. What a week he's had, securing a number of points for the Bears in the first matches with a 2nd place finish and a 3rd place finish. 9 points today. At last, the Berlin Bears getting some momentum. Selling Dan Cates, get out of here, putting Jeff Gross into the firing line, and he has produced.
Yeah, Kid Who Won, I believe is his screen name on PokerStars, and clearly the kid just wins. I mean, a lot of the stuff he was doing was a little outside of the box. I was pretty hard on him over the 1-Queen-9 lead. But overall, a lot of the stuff he was doing was working, and I think that he has really, really good instincts, and he's finding a way to win against really tough competition, and he is breaking down his thought process for the people at home. So there is a lot to learn from a guy like Jeff Gross, and I'm excited to check out him and Tonka and see how a guy like Tonka, for instance, actually might improve his game playing around him all the time.
He's living with Dan Coleman in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, I think that he's got a good foundation of his game. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
But let's just talk also about the Rome Emperors for a moment. Another break. We're now in our 4th week of the GPL. That we won't see them again until Tuesday, the 5th week of GPL. Still the only franchise without a win. No one seems to be able to get things going for Max Pescatori's Rome Emperors, and that's a real problem. Todd Brunson, as we say, looking a little bit out of his depth here, at the GPL, particularly if we put him up against, some of the more fearsome opponents. Someone like Justin Bonomo is really going to have a field day unless he sharpens his game up a little bit. So that is really bad news for Max Pescatori at the moment. Still in the early stages of the league, but prognosticating about the future, Rome Emperors in a little bit of trouble. What do you think, Griff?
I think that Jeff Gross and the Lounge are going to have a great little pity-patty
Laura Cornelius is going to lose her shit.
Oh, she is. Laura?
No, I am not, boys. Eric will instead. Jeff Gross picking up 9 points, taking the Berlin Bears to 35 now. Wow, the boy done good.
A lot of good, yeah. I think the new lineup now is Jeff Gross and Dominic Nietzsche, no one else, and they should be fine.
Get rid of them all,
away.
apart from them two.
Just a fantastic performance, a 2nd and a 3rd, and then 3 wins tonight.
Do we have Jeff Gross on Skype? Is he there? Yes! Congratulations, Jeff. 9 points for the Berlin Bears. You've done really well. I'm sure you're happy with yourself.
Yeah, no, I am. I will say it's the least, I think out of all my games, 6 max, 9 max, heads up's my least, the one I play the least. But, again, I played Premier League 7 with some of the top players in the world, Vanessa Selbst, Jason Kuhn, Dan Coleman, Brian Rass. You could go on, right? It's, it's basically 8-handed sit and goes where you play, there's 6 of them and you play 4. It's all based on points. So I'm very familiar with the structure of how this GPL is set up. And it's, sometimes people may question how you're doing something or why you're folding or why would you fold 6s under the gun with 15 blinds or whatever. And again, that's a beautiful thing about poker. It's not always so clear on why you're doing something or how your read is at the other guy or whatever. So poker's beautiful, and I've worked hard on my game. I'm trying to get better. I know, again, there's some amazing players in this GPL, and I think I belong, and I'm excited about it. I think it's a great opportunity. It's been fun, and I love my team, and I'm just thrilled because I've been playing a lot. I've been twitching myself on my own Twitch channel. I played a lot of poker online, which I didn't used to play. So I'm just I'm ecstatic. I love the format. I love the whole deal, and I don't know. Put me in. When do I go next?
Jeff, I mean, you're a good-looking guy. You're living the great life. Here you are in a hotel lobby, just living the life. And now you're talking to small children while you're winning your poker. All the women in the GPL are in love with you. Can you please help us single guys out by slow your roll a bit there, Jeff?
I mean, listen, I was in Miami this morning. I flew here. I'm in Houston. I'm literally going upstairs to play in a poker game right now. I'll be in Montreal tomorrow, going to Rio to play the Scoops. I mean, I'm immersed in poker. I think I've been playing a while, and I think I used to play online. I took a break Black Friday, right? Gotten live, kind of did that for a while. Now I'm getting back into online and realizing when I used to play, I was sort of, I think, a break even or slightly profitable player and was complaining, thought maybe I wasn't running so well, but I think I've made some big adjustments. And, again, even on the last couple of weeks online, I, 3rd in the Sunday 500 on Stars, very tough tournament, 8th in the 1K Super Tuesday, 11th in the Sunday warm-up. And I mean, I've been playing a lot. I've been working a lot on my game, thinking about things differently. And, again, Todd's been around forever. He's a great player. And whether you beat someone, I think I was on the plane and I couldn't see the matches. I could see the comments, so I was asking people to kind of fill me in what was happening or what the stacks were. I know Vanessa lost, right, to a very animated Anatoly, and how did Elke and Nano Noko do? I don't even know. I didn't see it.
Nano 1-2-1.
That's right.
Yeah, so again, like whether Nano beats Elky 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, it doesn't matter. Like me winning 3 matches doesn't mean I'm better than Todd Brunson or vice versa, or Vanessa or Anatoly. Like there's a lot of variance, but what you do is you get dealt your cards, you play your game, you bring your game, and you show up, and how they drop, they drop. But again, whether you beat someone once, twice, 3 times doesn't mean you're a better heads-up player than someone else or not. But again, heads-up's frustrating, right? Because it is 1v1. There's not a lot of, when you're at a 6-max or 9-max table and you get hands and guys are 3-betting and 4-betting and multi-way, it's like heads-up is the purest form of poker. With that being said, it doesn't mean that you're better than someone if you beat them 1, 2, 3, 10 matches in a row. But it feels good. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's like nice to get that first one. You're kind of like, all right, I'm not going to get shot. Then when you're in the second, you're like, all right, now it's like it's on, pressure's on them. And then obviously getting the clean sweep, it feels good for sure.
Jeff, let's give a little love to our friends in Montreal. I know you're heading out there. My favorite venue, I know it's one of your favorite venues, heading out for the Canadian Spring Championship, the start of the WPT season, 1 week after it ended. Talk to me about how much you love the city of Montreal, because I know you do.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Montreal is my favorite place to play playground poker. I've been going since 2012. I actually, I've had 2 of my biggest results there. I got second in Premier League, the last Premier League, and I got third in that WPT when they had like the first ever big one. They had like 1,180 people, and I got third. So I feel comfortable there. 2 of my largest scores are in that city, in that casino. I think Playground Poker, without a doubt, does as good a job as anyone in the world. It's also not a casino; it's just poker. Their model's 4 players, by players, and the city's just incredible, right? I mean, Montreal's like so many nice restaurants, so much fun. So it's an amazing, amazing place. I'm going there with Antonio. We're skipping Monaco. And pretty happy about that. I try to go to Montreal 3-4 times a year, and that's where the stream house is going to be for the Twitch stream house with 5 of us, which should be pretty epic. And that's going to be like September of this year until December, roughly. Start around the scoop. So it's going to be some pretty high flyers. Tonka, Jamie Staples, Kevin Martin, Poker Staples PA, and myself, where we'll be basically Twitch streaming every day. The 5 of us in a house, like also kind of Big Brother style, with cameras in the kitchen, the living room. It's going to be a Twitch immersion and overload, and really excited about that.
Jeff Gross, thank you so much for chatting with us. Congratulations once again on your clean sweep and 9 points for the Berlin Bears, taking them up to 4th place now in the Eurasian Conference. Best of luck with the Twitch stream as well. We will catch it, I'm sure.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jeff Gross, what a talker, and what a guy that just emits positivity.
Just loves life. Loves life.
Loves it. I love it. So good. Right, let's get back to the boys, because we're going to take a look at some key hands.
Thanks, Laura. I'm Griffin Benger. This is Sam Grafton. This is the end of the second day of week 4 of the GPL. Todd Brunson against Jeff Gross. A lot of very interesting hands. And let's go through the first one I want to go through, obviously.
Yeah, of course. We're a bit critical of Todd Brunson's play, but obviously Jeff Gross did have moments where he played absolutely horrifically as well. And this was one of them. I don't know what this hand is.
No, this
here
is
we go. Jeff Gross coming in for a standard open with 7-8 suited, and Todd Brunson with the, well, you pick the nickname, Weapons of Mass Destruction, 2 aces in the big blinds. And, at the moment, no consistency with sizing. This is his first 3-bet. Opts for an absolutely tiny 3-bet to keep in the entire, or at least the majority of Jeff's opening range. And gets a favorable flop with the ace of clubs in his hands, C-bets for value. Now, you might think Jeff Gross would be a little bit worried by the small 3-bet. I don't know whether those guys at home that have played tournament poker, if someone with a grey beard min 3-bets you out of position, it's normally a sign of massive strength. In fact, it's often this exact hand, 2 aces. But Jeff Gross, with no real backdoor, but a gut shot to the nuts, opts to raise in position. I think this is very ambitious. Let's suppose Jeff Gross did have a very strong hand here. Would there be any need to raise a set of 5s, for instance? Probably not. You'd want to keep in Todd's bluffs. Is Todd Brunson even going to fold ace-king high to this min raise? I'm not certain that he is. But what do you know? Jeff Gross running absolutely pure, bangs in the middle pin gut shot on the turn to give him the absolute nuts, reverse the equities, and leave Todd Brunson drawing stone dead. this part of the hand I do like from Jeff. Picks a decent sizing, which sets up a river shove. And again, Todd Brunson, no real need to jam all in on the turn. I think check call is perfectly fine. You know, occasionally Jeff Gross is going to have 5-6 or what have you. He does extract value from King Queen and put King Queen and Queen Jack in a tough spot by check raising. But with the ace of clubs in your hand, no need to really protect from too many draws. But goes to the check raise, and Jeff Gross wins the first match in pretty unconventional style. Obviously running pure, and you know Jeff capitalized on that. You know, by grinding Todd down in the next couple of matches, but certainly was a huge amount of good fortune, and that really put Todd on the back foot right from the word go. Seemed a little bit frozen up from there, and you know, perhaps that hand, if it bricks off and Jeff Gross loses a quarter of his stack, a third of his stack with the 7-8 high, perhaps these three matches run out differently. As it was, first match to Jeff, a bit of a free roll for him, capitalized on it, and bad news for Todd Brunson and the Rome Emperors.
Yeah, and it's such an eclectic group of players in the Global Poker League. I mean, we've seen some of the best, most advanced thinking sort of players that come from an online background. You look at guys like Justin Bonomo, Igor Kurganov, obviously still a great live presence, but Alexandra Leno, so many people that have studied so much of the game through the online world, using a lot of math, using a lot of different strategies, whereas in this case, two guys, much more field players. Obviously, Sam and I coming from an online background too, so we can be pretty critical about like what they're representing, that sort of thing. But still doing a lot of things right, but a lot of things, not really going well.
In general, you expect your first round draft picks, the big superstars, to pick up a large number of points for your franchise. But a lot of the difference, between maybe coming fifth and coming fourth in these leagues is going to be how well do your fourth round draft picks, your wildcards perform. And, we've got to say, Jeff Gross, perhaps not the strongest player in the league, but already putting substantial points on the board for the Berlin Bears. Big plus for them. On the other hand, the wildcard pick of Todd Brunson may be looking a little bit ropey for the Rome Emperors.
Yeah, and I think one last thing to consider too is that I think Todd is someone that's just going to maybe look at a match like this and be like, okay, what do I need to do to improve? I want to be the best player I can be for the Rome Emperors, and I think that he's going to do that, honestly.
Yeah, of course. Well, he's got Dario. Dario.
We have a spilled water. Things are just falling apart here at the Global Poker League.
We better go over to
We've been told to throw to the lounge. They know what they're doing.
Just because it's his birthday, he thinks he can just go around smashing the setup. I don't know. These amateurs we hire at the GPL. Jeez. Right. Jeff Gross doing a tremendous job there for the Berlin Bears. They were in dire need of help. He did that. He sorted them out. He's given them 9 points. It means now they go way up past London.
Yeah, they're in the playoff spot at the moment, so just a great result for them. 9 points, exactly what they wanted. At least I think both teams were looking for a sweep. It was almost a sweep or don't win at all, right? And it just so happens that the Berlin Bears pick up that sweep.
So there we go. Rome Emperors 28, right at the bottom. Still no win for them. London Royals on 35. Berlin Bears now 4th place from the bottom of the league. 39 points. Hong Kong Stars on 46. Aviators on 51. And the Wolverines, thanks to Anatoly Filatov earlier on, 53 points for them. Just 2 points clear of the Aviators. And that's the standings and how they will stay for the rest of the week now.
Yeah, a great performance by Moscow. Being in first place, I think that's key. We've only seen a bit of Dmitry Urbanovich. Still haven't seen Yaroshevsky, so some big guns still left to play for Anatoly. So watch out. I think Moscow could very well be the front runner at this point. And in my next USA Today rankings, I might be voting for them as my new number one. Really impressed by the way Anatoly played.
We have some great matches lined up for you tomorrow from the Americas Conference. The Farah Xhaka match is actually Jonathan Jaffe. That has changed for San Francisco Rush against Sao Paulo's Thiago Nishijima. Olivier Busquet back again for the LA Sunset against New York Round. A big cheese, Tom Marchese.
The main event, Lord. That is the main event.
It's going to be a good one. Yeah, that was kicking off 3:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 Central European. And Scott Ball will be back after his debut on Tuesday in the Six Max, picking up 5 points for the Las Vegas Moneymakers. He's going to be playing Jason Lavallee, who also debuted on Tuesday for the Nationals. That one is the last match of the evening, 6 p.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. Central European Time.
Exciting matches. I think Nishiyama is one to look out for. Was not happy getting swept by Pascal Lafrancois 2 weeks ago. So let's take a look. And all of Sao Paulo will be behind the Decano, the WSOP bracelet winner.
It just intrigues me. Every day we get to look into different people's hotels, hotel rooms, their dressing gowns, their houses, their lasagna, their pets, their babies.
Curtains.
It's just great. All right, quit with the curtain
I thought you
joke.
could have said
I'm
curtains and then we
wearing
end the show
something
that way.
else tomorrow, Danny. Don't bring the jacket back.
Yeah,
We've
never.
had a nice time. We hope that you've had a nice time too. Don't forget, it's America's Conference Night. It's heads-up action all the way tomorrow. So please do join us then. It will start at 1 p.m. Eastern time for that very first match. We'll be here 20 minutes before that for the pre-show though. Have an excellent night. See you then.
Can't get enough of the GPL? Head over to globalpokerleague.com for the most complete and up-to-date standings, schedule, stats, and information on your favorite team, as well as full-length match replays, highlights, and epic hands from all of our matches, and much, much more.